Back, it will be the first of its kind, a long-acting antibody treatment to protect against RSV in infants. Is now up for review by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the therapy and a timeline for when it could be available if approved.
For months, RSV had a grip on the U.S. As cases rose, some pediatric hospitals were overwhelmed. But the latest CDC data shows the virus has peaked in the U.S.
RSV is down. That's good.
And now there's a potential therapy in our fight against future RSV cases in infants. The FDA is reviewing nirsevimab, a long-acting antibody for the prevention of lower respiratory tract infections caused by the virus. The first of its kind antibody would be administered as a single dose. In a statement, the companies that developed the therapy said the FDA has indicated it will work to expedite its review and approval could happen sometime this summer, adding, "If approved, we believe nirsevimab may transform the medical community's approach to RSV prevention in infants, and we are committed to working with the FDA to support completion of the review as quickly as possible." Data from a phase 3 trial published in the New England Journal of Medicine found RSV infections requiring medical attention happened in 1.2% of infants who received the therapy, compared with 5% of infants who got a placebo. That means the treatment is more than 74% effective and no safety concerns were identified. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Early this morning, we're off to a quiet start and even seeing some clear skies. So as you head out the door, especially within the next few hours, may get some glimpses of that sunshine. We'll end up seeing temperatures dropping potentially still a few degrees into the upper 20s, but we'll quickly climb back into those mid to upper 30s, even breaking into the low 40s later today as we are in for yet another mild day. Much of the same weather is expected to follow us into your Wednesday before we end up seeing a chance for some active weather by Thursday. I'll break down all those details coming up in just a few minutes. Manny.
Thank you, Claudia. Coming up, a plan to push for backyard chickens in Rockford hits a brick wall. We break down why the city voted no when we come back after the break. What? The city voted no against having chickens? Yeah. Right now at 5:30, shocking new video to show you this morning after a car crashes into a ravine. What authorities are saying at this time. Plus, an assault weapons ban takes a major step toward becoming law, what this means for current gun owners. And closer to home, why Rockford City Council voted no to allow backyard chickens during last night's meeting.
From 13 WREX, your weather authority. This is 13 News Today.
It's Tuesday, January 10th, and a quiet morning to the start of our week. Just the right amount of chill in the air. Good morning and welcome to 13 News Today. I'm Manny Estopinan.
And I'm Claudia Olak.
Thank you for joining us this amazing morning. We'll get to those top stories in just a few moments, but first to check in with your weather authority meteorologist. Claudia, you know what? If we just get a few hours of sunshine, I'll be happy with that.
You know, I think there's something I might be able to do for you this morning, Manny. We're seeing clear skies early on, so once that sun rises, you're likely going to see some glimpses of sunshine before cloud cover slowly starts to take over. So a trend that we will see is also with those cooler temperatures. As of right now, some dropping into the upper 20s, 29 degrees over in Rockford, 31 for Dixon, and 31 even down into Sublette. We'll slowly start to climb, of course, within the next few hours, getting through about mid-morning as we'll see that sun early on. Temperatures will hit about 37 degrees by the 1 o'clock hour as we'll be on track to break into those low 40s for yet another mild and well above average day today, as we'll see much of the same follow us even into your Wednesday. Most of not only today but tomorrow will stay dry with a chance for a rain and snow mix reaching us by the time we head into our Thursday. I'll break down all those details coming up in my full forecast, Manny. Thank you, Claudia. Your 13 news time is 5:30. Let's get to our top story this morning. More details unfolding about a deadly crash in Rockford. The county coroner identifying the woman killed as 24-year-old Melissa Ashby of Rockford. On Friday, Rockford police were called out to Springfield Avenue and Safford Road for a two-car crash. Witnesses say a man driving a pickup truck crossed the road's center line and crashed into Ashby's car. She was taken to a local hospital where she later died. And a vehicle veered off the road and ended up in a ravine in the North Shore suburbs of Chicago. The crash took place just before midnight yesterday in Highland Park. The destroyed car was lifted out of the ravine and the two people in the vehicle were taken to the hospital.
We had a vehicle off the roadway down into the ravine, about 40, 50 feet. Two subjects were transported to Highland Park Hospital. Could have been a lot worse.
The condition of the driver and passenger are currently unknown at this time. And Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers says he'll ban the use of TikTok on state government devices. A growing number of states have already done the same. FBI officials are concerned about TikTok owners, the Chinese company ByteDance, and the potential for the Chinese government to collect U.S. user data.
Yes, I have, and we'll be issuing an executive order in the near future banning the use of TikTok. We, as I said at that time when I was asked that question, we consulted with FBI folks and in our own emergency management folks, and we came to the conclusion that it's the best idea.
So far, 18 states have banned TikTok on state-ran devices since 2020. And if you bought eggs in the last few weeks, you've probably had sticker shock. Prices for a carton of eggs are reportedly as high as $8 in Wisconsin. The USDA reports the price before retailer markup varies from $3.93 to $5.45, depending on what region of the U.S. you live in. A local dairy farmer once sold eggs for $2.50, but chicken feed prices are forcing her to make a tough decision.
I am probably going to go to $4 because that's a lot closer to covering my cost of production.
Miller says there's a bright spot to the animal feed shortage. Brazilian corn and soybeans used to make chicken feed are just starting to hit the market and will improve the situation. And the average price of gas nationwide has been up by a little over 8 cents a gallon, remaining unchanged from a month ago. And it's 3.6 cents lower than a year ago. Here are the current lowest prices for a gallon of gas in our area. Rockford's Gas Depot sits at $3.35, while Freeport Circle K is at $3.17. Over in Belvedere, Citgo is at $3.15, with Rochelle's Love's Travel Stop charging $3.11 a gallon. And Dixon's Stop and Go is just under $3 a gallon. In a major development last night out of Springfield, the state lawmakers take one step closer towards approving an assault weapons ban. The state Senate passing an amended version. The major change you need to know about is current owners of assault weapons will have to register their weapon with the state. This goes along with the main points the House passed last week, including a ban on making, buying, and selling assault weapons, and a ban on making, buying, selling, or even owning extended magazines. Republican lawmakers in our area see the bill and amendment as a slap in the face to gun owners.
This just says to law-abiding citizens, you can't own certain guns even though you've never committed a crime, and we're going to put you in a registry even though you're a tax-paying legal citizen with no criminal history.
Democrats from our area, though, supported the bill, including Senator Steve Stottleman, who said in part, quote, "As what happened in Highland Park, no one should have the legal capability to use a weapon that fired 83 shots and killed and injured nearly 50 people in a matter of minutes at a parade," end quote. And since the Senate amended that bill, it has to go back to the House for final approval. They're expected to take up that issue later today before the new General Assembly gets sworn in on Wednesday. And Illinois lawmakers have also passed the bill for anyone installing a sprinkler system to have a licensed plumber hired for inspection. House Bill 4245 is requiring irrigation contractors to have their work looked over by a state licensed plumber or face a $10,000 fine. The reason for such a large fine is due to the plumber needing to look for any potential sewage leaks or other toxins that could be released. The bill passed both chambers and is now waiting to be signed or vetoed by Governor Pritzker. And now over to a bill that has passed the Illinois Senate to address the ongoing bus driver shortage. The goal of House Bill 1688 is to streamline the training and permit processes for drivers by setting up a course and annual refresher for small school districts. For large school districts that permit drivers will go through the same courses. The bill is championed by State Senator Corinna Villa of West Chicago. She released a statement saying, quote, "Accessible transportation to and from school is important to provide to our students. This bill will help provide transportation to our students by clarifying confusing training requirements for bus drivers of vehicles of different sizes," end quote. And let's turn now to your Weather Authority meteorologist, Claudia Oleg, for a preview of what we can expect on this morning's commute. Good morning, Claudia.
Good morning, Manny. We're off to a quiet start early on, and we'll even see clear skies, so you'll see a little bit of sunshine. Partly cloudy skies will slowly start to move in as that cloud cover continuously increases throughout the rest of our day today. Your temperatures may drop briefly into the upper 20s, if not hanging on to the low 30s, and will slowly start to climb, hitting 34 degrees closer to the 10 o'clock hour, as we'll be on track to reach into those low 40s by the afternoon. Weather stays quiet for today, even for portions of your Wednesday. Might not be able to say the same about Thursday. I'll have those details in just a few minutes. Manny.
Claudia, thank you. Your 13 news time is 5:37. And a COVID update. Health officials across the country are warning people about a new variant. Cases of the Kraken variant, also known as XBB 1.5, have been on the rise over the last several weeks. Health officials say the variant represents 40% of COVID-19 cases in America, after only making up 4% just a few weeks ago. Though it is surging across America, only 6% of the cases in the Midwest are from this variant. And with a new variant surging across the country, let's take a look at how the state line is doing with COVID-19. Right now, Boone and Winnebago counties are at a low COVID-19 community level, while Ogle, Stevenson, and Lee counties are at a medium COVID-19 level. The CDC recommends people living in a medium COVID-19 level community to stay up to date with COVID-19 vaccinations and consider wearing a mask inside. A Wisconsin doctor says he's moving forward with opening a second clinic providing reproductive rights to women just days after opening his first office here in Rockford. We're talking about Dr. Dennis Christensen. His first office, which is located on Auburn Road, is offering services to women who are seeking care concerning reproductive rights, including abortions. The second clinic, which is currently under construction, will be located on Murray Drive, both offering services to women not only from Illinois, but from Wisconsin and Iowa as well.
The 611 Auburn clinic is just set up to distribute medication for medication abortions. The one on Murray Drive is going to be set up with surgical or with facilities to do surgical procedures.
Christensen says since the renovations have started, he's hopeful the clinic will open its doors in just 3 months. And after a long back and forth battle between John Deere and farmers, the company is giving farmers the right to repair their equipment on their own. An agreement was settled and signed Sunday following years of lawsuits and complaints. It means farmers can diagnose and fix their John Deere tractors without using company parts or facilities. The American Farm Bureau Federation says the agreement also protects John Deere's intellectual property. Right now, the city of Rockford says you can't have chickens in your backyard. The legalization of backyard hens for a 30-person trial was on the table for approval during last night's council meeting. The ordinance was voted down 9-5, but City Councilman Bill Rose says he's not done pushing this bill yet.
I'm going to continue to work for families that want to have these types of amenities in their community. I'm going to continue to pressure aldermen to make the right choice for our citizens and give them the opportunity to fulfill their property rights.
For City Councilman Kevin Frost, who voted against the ordinance, it's the issue of what comes after the proposed trial run for those backyard chickens.
My big concern that I discussed tonight was the fact that the grandfathering clause. So if it doesn't work out, we were going to allow the people that the 30 to continue to have them. And my point was, well, if it's not working out, it's based on those 30. So why would we let the 30 continue to have hens in their backyard?
13 News spoke to a few Rockford citizens at the meeting who said they had been trying to push the ordinance for years and will continue to do so. And coming up, a bear stakes out a sleepy spot under a family's porch and a dream job fit for a Frankfurt fan. Coming up in today's Take a Look at This.
Your 13 News time is 5:41. Early this morning, we're off to a clear start as mild weather will move in, especially for the first few days of this week before we see a chance for some active weather returning by Thursday, also dropping temperatures. All of those details coming up after the break.
Thanks for staying with us. Today is a day dedicated to the mighty, majestic eagle. National Save the Eagles Day falls on January 10th each year. Bald eagles were once endangered, but were removed from the list back in 2007. Even so, factors like poaching, poisoning, and habit loss continue to impact the eagle population. You can honor Save the Eagles Day by watching documentaries or reading about eagles, visiting a bird sanctuary, or even taking part in conservation efforts in your area.
Have you ever seen an eagle?
I've never seen an eagle. Have you?
No. I think I did once, but it was very far away, so I didn't get a good look at it. But I did make out, with the feathers and stuff like that, that it was a white eagle.
I do have a fun eagle story, though.
Bald eagle, I should say.
Down in South Florida, they had a live webcam on an eagle nest, and they had all these chicks, and then we would and then we would periodically check in on them, and it was the most adorable thing, because you just saw these little creatures in days just grow into these big things, and you're like, wow. And so they left the nest, and now I guess we're hoping for them to come back and nest there again in the year. So hopefully we get to catch an eagle today or learn more about eagles and honor them. They are our national bird.
Very important. And I was going to say, I love when zoos do that as well, where they put cams on anything like that with something expected to hatch. You can check in. I love that too. Well, it's that time of year when animals seek a warm and cozy spot to ride out the winter months.
And as one family discovered, that spot just happened to be a little too close for comfort. Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
A Connecticut family made a wild discovery, and I do mean wild, when they found a burly, uninvited guest hibernating under their porch. Tyler Dashikevich says it was their dog acting jumpy that tipped them off.
She was acting a little bit nervous, so we just peeked down under the deck, and we're like, there's the bear there. We could not believe it.
Dashikevich says she's used to seeing bears, but not having them stay so long. She called local experts who advised her the visitor is likely a male black bear that, believe it or not, can just be left alone in its cozy quarters.
So we're just gonna leave him there until hibernation is over.
So just grin and bear it, eh? Well, hot dog, there's an idea. Speaking of hot dogs, Oscar Mayer fans, have we got the job for you. The company is currently recruiting the next class of drivers for its iconic Wienermobile. Hey, where do you find a job like that? On LinkedIn? Actually, the company has posted an online application for the gig, so those who relish this opportunity and can muster the courage better hurry and catch up with the competition. You know what, people? Hot dog puns aren't easy. In fact, they're just the worst, if I may be frank. Finally, completing this trifecta of stories that don't go together at all, take a rip-roaring rocket ride into space in no time flat. SpaceX shared this amazing time-compressed video on Twitter, squeezing an 8.5-minute orbital flight on their Falcon 9 rocket into roughly 90 seconds of out-of-this-world and back again high-flying action. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Early this morning, your Tuesday is off to a quiet and even clear start. We will end up seeing a little bit of sunshine early on before cloud cover returns once again. Taking a look at our WREX camera right here in Winnebago, there are those clear skies. You'll see that sunshine once it rises, and it'll stick with us for a little bit longer before cloud cover really takes over and your temperatures start to warm as well. Right now, we're off to a little bit of a cool start. Most of us into those low 30s. Looks like 30 degrees over in Dixon, 29 for DeKalb, and 32 up into Roscoe. May still drop a degree or two before we end up climbing into those low 40s for yet another mild day. The next few hours will feature those clear conditions as cloud cover slowly starts to trickle in. We'll notice it building in especially later this evening as your temperatures climb into those mid to upper 30s, hitting about 37 degrees close to 3 p.m., some breaking into those low 40s, very similar to what we saw yesterday. And we'll end up staying above average not only this afternoon, but even into tomorrow, bringing us about 15 degrees above average. Normally this time of year, we are in those upper 20s. So just to give you an idea, we'll get close to average by the time we head into Friday, with that system moving through both Wednesday and Thursday. And we're back into well above average territory early next week, about 16 degrees above average, trending for your Monday, as we'll also see a chance for some rain showers. In terms of your forecast for today, we're in for yet another quiet day. Temperatures will climb into those low 40s as we'll see an increase in cloud cover. Even winds are going to stay quiet as we head into tonight, with temperatures falling into those low 30s. Cloud cover doesn't going anywhere anytime soon. It'll follow us into your Wednesday as most of the day stays dry, but we're tracking the system that will reach us as we head overnight Wednesday early into your Thursday morning. Here's about just before 6 a.m. Thursday morning, I should say. Some of those showers slowly starting to come in, especially south of I-88. A lot of this may end up tracking a little bit further north, a few details still murky, but as we head into the rest of our day and morning on Thursday, a lot of this will slowly start to move a little further east as it exits, especially by Friday. That we do know, dry conditions are expected by the end of the week. As we head throughout the rest of our week, we will end up seeing cloud cover staying with us along with those 40s, 44 degrees by your Wednesday. And we'll see that chance for rain and snow mix into Thursday. Some may end up seeing some accumulations. We'll have to keep an eye on that as we get closer to the end of the week. And in your most accurate 10-day forecast, we'll briefly drop into the 30s by Friday as that system exits, and we'll be right back into those 40s for a handful of days, especially through next week. Also kicking off a bit of an active stretch with the rain showers expected. Manny.
Thank you, Claudia. Coming up, one pasta maker is calling it quits on a fan favorite. Why the decision was made according to the company. Just ahead in our Consumer Report. Welcome back. Instagram is kicking the shopping tab out of the home feed. Users will have a new navigation bar starting next month. CNBC's Savannah Hano has a look at this morning's business headlines.
Wall Street is set to open lower after a split session for the markets yesterday. The Dow erasing a 300-point gain to close down more than 100 points, while the S&P also finished in the red. But it was the Nasdaq rising for a second straight day, led by a big gain in Tesla. Stocks climbing to start the day on optimism the Federal Reserve can slow growth and cool inflation without tipping the economy into recession. But those hopes faded late in the session. In focus today, a speech by Fed Chairman Jerome Powell before the market opens. House Republicans hit the ground running yesterday, passing a bill to repeal a big boost in funding for the IRS, fulfilling a campaign promise. Democrats beefed up the agency, which has been struggling to provide basic services to taxpayers. GOP lawmakers claim the increased funding would lead to an army of IRS agents harassing hardworking Americans. The bill is unlikely to see a vote in the Democratic-controlled Senate. Instagram is kicking the shopping tab out of the home feed. Users will have a new navigation bar starting next month. The shopping button will be removed from the main bar, while the button to create a new post will move down. The Reels tab, which is currently front and center, will take the place of the Shop tab. Instagram began testing a feed without the shopping button last fall, saying it wanted to simplify the user experience. But reports say this is part of a larger shift as Instagram pulls back on its shopping features. With your CNBC Morning Business Report, I'm Silvana Henao.
Let's get you to more consumer news that may impact you. The popular business and employment platform LinkedIn is seeing a resurgence thanks in part to recent layoffs in tech and media industries. In 2022, the LinkedIn mobile app was downloaded about 58 million times. That's up 10% from the previous years. According to researchers, LinkedIn says it's seen record engagement among its 875 million members. And the holiday shopping numbers are being reported, and Macy's says its numbers are on the lower end after the holiday quarter. The retailer's Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales met expectations, and the week leading up to and following Christmas beat expectations. But Macy's says its sales lows during the non-peak weeks were deeper than anticipated. Inflation and higher prices did cause Americans to spend more over the holiday season. And Ronzoni has announced its tiny star-shaped pastini would be discontinued this month. Foodies on social media are disappointed over the news. The pasta has been a fan favorite for a very long time, often making appearances in soups. According to Ronzoni, the decision to discontinue pastina was made after its long-term supplier said it would no longer be available to make the pasta. As of this morning, one petition had more than 2,800 signatures.
Early this morning, as you head out the door, you'll likely notice those clear skies overhead, and once that sun rises, we will see plenty of sunshine. Soak it all in while it's here as you head out for the school bus, for example. Still going to need something to keep yourself warm. Temperatures have been dropping into the low 30s, if not upper 20s, and cloud cover will slowly start to build in, and you'll likely see a little bit more of it as we head back home a little bit later today. Temperatures will climb